So, being an electrician, has that helped you save money for any electrical problems with your properties, and roughly how much? So, I've got 6 properties and I've never had any major electrical issues. The thing with being an electrician is this: when you're an electrician and you have your own property, especially if you're doing a refurb, you will get carried away with installing sockets. Instead of just having 3 sockets in the living room, you're like, right, at the end of the job, there's going to be 8 sockets in this living room. So a man will end up adding an extra 5 sockets for convenience and probably not even end up using half the sockets. So in terms of major electrical issues, none whatsoever in my 6 properties. And, that's a lot of electrics altogether in 6 properties. Imagine how much lights you would have if you add up all 6 properties. Imagine how much sockets you have in all 6 properties. No major electrical issues. Now, I've got a little issue at my most recent purchase, the property where I'm keeping the bike at the moment. When you take off a socket front, there's something called a lug, and that's what you screw the screw into, yeah? Well, anyway, one of the lugs is damaged, but luckily it's a plasterboard box that they've put into the wall, and obviously you can take it out and replace it. So I just need to find the right one. So I'm gonna have to hunt around for the correct lug to put in that plasterboard box. So yeah, that's just a little issue that I've got. But other than that, no real major electrical issues. Like I've said previous times in my videos, you will have more, if you're a plumber, there's more work for plumbers, I believe, because there's just more call outs, more breakdowns. If you're watching this right now, think about it. Even if you're 21 years old or you're 30 years old, even if you've never owned a property, it doesn't matter. Think about all the properties that you've ever lived in, whether you owned it or your parents owned it or your parents rented, it doesn't matter. Every property that you've lived in, think about how many times an electrician had to come around versus a plumber slash, gas engineer. Because obviously if you've got a problem with the boiler, you're going to call out a gas engineer. It might not necessarily be a gas problem. It might be a little water leak inside the boiler. Yeah? And I guarantee you, if you think about it carefully, you would have had more problems with plumbing. You would have more plumbing issues than electrical issues. Even just something stupid like you buy a wash machine, you need a plumber to plumb the wash machine in. Or you buy certain wash machines that are hot and cold fed, or you need a plumber to install the extra hot pipe for the wash machine. Now, never buy a wash machine that's hot and cold fed. There's just no need. But yeah, you might have a radiator that's leaking a little bit, or a radiator that's not getting hot, or a tap that when you close the tap, you turn the tap off, it still continues to drip. You're going to have all those issues. With electrical, you never have any issues. Even my mum's house, like, my mum's never had to call an electrician, obviously, but like what I'm saying is, like, I've never had to go down to my mum's house to fix any electrical problems. No. The only thing I've done is, I'm in my mum's house right now, yeah? So I've changed the lights, yeah? I've changed the lights in a bunch of the rooms and that. Like, obviously they come with white plastic sockets as standard. I've changed them to like the silver chrome ones and that. That's it. So yeah, no electrical issues whatsoever. I've never had my mum phone me and say, "Oh, this is tripping. What do I do?" I've had my mum phone me and say that a plumber's installed a toilet, and when she flushes the toilet, it continues to just keep flushing, like it just don't stop. And I was able to help her out with that. Basically, what happened is, with a toilet, you've got the flush valve. So when you push the button, it releases the water. So if the flush valve doesn't close, let's say, and shut off the water that's being flushed, the inlet valve, that when the flush valve opens up and it releases the water into the toilet pan, obviously the cistern where the water is, it's empty. So what happens is the inlet valve, which is a water supply that comes in, it will fill the toilet back up. This is inside the cistern. Well, if the flush valve is open, water keeps getting released and the inlet valve keeps pumping water in. So obviously the flush valve wasn't connected properly. So I just told my mum, put your hand in there and turn it, and that fixed the problem. Hopefully I explained that properly. Obviously I ain't no plumber in that, but yeah. My mum's called me about plumbing issues and not electrical issues. So yeah, man. Like I said, there's more work for plumbers than electricians, I believe.